Do you ever notice how easy it is to show up for everybody else, but so hard to show up for yourself? Hi, I'm Scarlett Classic, and welcome to Classic Advice, a mental health podcast offering guidance for resilient souls, anchoring calm amid the chaos. You know, for other people, we encourage them, we help them, we listen, we fight for them, we remind them they matter. But then when it comes to our own lives and our own selves and working on us, our own healing and our own needs, it somehow is so much harder, and we can push it to the side, telling ourselves that, well, we'll just deal with that later. But then later never comes. Why do we do this? I think sometimes what it is it's just so much easier when we have an objective view to, someone else's life. It's easy to see the potholes and the areas that need work and what, one person might be doing wrong or could do better or whatever. But then when it comes to looking in the mirror and looking at ourselves and working on ourselves, that is hard work. And we gravitate to what is easy or easier. We avoid looking in. So we look outward to other people instead. When we're looking at ourselves, it's quite a bit different, because there's a lot of emotions that we have maybe suppressed or don't want to deal with, don't want to feel. Maybe we're scared that if we try to work on ourselves and change these little areas, that maybe we won't be able to, win that fight. There probably is shame in there somewhere. I think we all have areas, in our past that we look back on and we've got shame because we're ashamed of maybe the mistakes that we've made or whatnot. A lot of old wounds and maybe new wounds. And it's painful. And sometimes facing those, honestly, it's very, very uncomfortable and it's painful. And instead of dealing with our own pain, we will turn to others and avoid it. So we stay busy. We stay useful to others. We stay needed by others. Because if we keep focusing on everybody else, then we don't fully have to face what's going on inside and what's going on with us. This overhelping, constant avoidance of our own selves isn't kindness. It's kind to others to help them for sure, but it's not kind to us to avoid our own needs and our own hurt. That is avoidance, just masking as kindness. There is a cost, though, to this self-neglect. And maybe you haven't thought of it that way. And we don't like to word it that way, self-neglect, because we would never say that out loud, that we're neglecting ourselves. But if we avoid the healing, then it is a form of self-neglect. We can only ignore our own needs and our own trauma and pain for so long before, your mind and your body starts keeping the score. And this can show up as, emotional exhaustion, or maybe resentment, or guilt, or shame, which can turn into, us turning off our emotions and feeling numb or dissociating. But we can only do that for so long before those emotions come back up. And then it can be anger or irritability or frustration and fatigue, losing motivation for things that we used to love, feeling disconnected from ourselves. So we can avoid and we can go into caretaker mode, but this keeps our nervous system in that almost stress response. Your brain stays focused outward, scanning for problems so that you can fix them, anticipating needs so that you can meet them. While my own emotional needs stay unmet underneath all of that. And over time, burnout will hit, fatigue, anxiety, or depression. But from the outside looking in, from other people looking at us, it just makes us look like the strong one. And that can become our, identity. And we find self-worth in that. So we don't want to give that up. Sometimes the strongest looking people are the most emotionally abandoned ones. Because it's a form of self-neglect and abandonment when we don't take care of ourselves and we don't meet our own needs. Do you give yourself the same compassion that you give to others? Are you helping others from a true place of love? Or is it a way of keeping busy so that you don't have to slow down long enough to face your own issues? What parts of your life have you been neglecting lately while you're focused on, everybody else? When is the last time you really checked in with yourself emotionally? Because you deserve that same care too. There is self-worth in that too. Loving yourself enough to take care of you too. What would happen? How do you think that would make you feel if you paused for just a minute, turning around and treating yourself with the same love that you treat others? It's going to be painful work to face up to these uncomfortable feelings and emotions. But afterwards, once we process those feelings and emotions, we do feel better. In the moment, pain is uncomfortable, but it's a part of the process. If we avoid the emotions, it doesn't mean that they're going away. They're still there, and they will remain there until we turn around and face them and let them wash over us. Working on ourselves isn't being selfish. Taking care of ourselves isn't a weakness. It's a form of self-love. Because you deserve that rest and healing and patience and softness and care. Not only after we hit burnout and break down, but every day. It's that metaphor of tending everybody else's garden but leaving yours. What's going to happen to all your plants and your flowers and your vegetables? Your own garden needs tending too. And it's the hardest one to take care of. But it needs tending too. If we want to truly heal, then we need to look inward and start pulling out the weeds in our own garden. Checking in with ourselves and being really honest with ourselves and working on ourselves. Because that version of us that keeps giving away to everybody else, you deserve that experience too. You deserve that care too. You deserve that same love from yourself that you so freely give to everyone else. Thank you for tuning in to Classic Advice, guidance for resilient souls. May you stay anchored in what steadies you, rise resilient through what challenges you, and carry calm into whatever comes next. Take care. Love ya.